because lately Toyota people think I'm at war with them. I'm not. I'm just telling them to buy new ones, not used ones. Yeah.
Yes.
So now everybody's sending me screenshots of their Mercedes-Benz odometers with 150 to 300,000 miles on them, which is cool.
I traded my last one being a W212.
Yeah.
350, which is a great generation with 165,000 miles on it. Only ever changed the oil and did service and never had one issue with it.
There you go.
Ever.
There you go. And then you have people that come in and didn't change their oil for 32,000 miles and wonder why their engine is having, right? I mean, so yeah, you don't change the oil, it's not going to run. Stop. Don't name names.
I'm not saying a name, but
I'm just saying, right? That's what happens. Stop. People, you take care of it, it'll run. Right? It's really that simple. It's no more complicated than that. Colin, gonna have to send him home. Geez, oh Pete, Acura or Lexus? Lexus.
Can you update? The silver one's not going to work for baboons. We have to look at the matte black on red that just came in.
Why is the silver one not going to work? Not cool enough?
Because it's not cool enough. Too old manish.
Well, I would have to agree. Compared to the black on red.
Please.
Please look at this.
Let me guess. Across the street, Lee.
All right. Greetings, Doug. Don, how are you? I'm good. Good to see you. All right.
Is that the one where I kept getting an email? Anyone free yet?
No,
Let's see. Did you already switch cars to the black on red?
Tired of her.
Black on red. These lease pretty well now, don't they? All right, brother. You're all saved up.
Did you take out the math fee?
Yeah, I did.
Thank you.
Nick sells whips. What's up, Nick? Nick sells whips. Russ flips whips. All the whips are getting flipped and sold. Jordan, best employee deal on a Mercedes, not an EV. Right now, I don't know. I mean, just dollars and cents. GLBs and GLAs are pretty screaming right now. So are C-classes. C-classes are really good deals. C-classes are very good deals. Sensei, greetings. Hello, how are you? Local Pie Pizza Co. Dougie Fresh. There you go, Dougie Fresh. A nickname I've had at various points in my life. Any information on the Baby G's? No information on those. That is still just something that's been speculated about, but currently does not officially exist as a car. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Ali Car Show. What's going on, Ali? Again, tried to get on earlier. Today has been absolutely bananas and just could not find the time. We're at 9 new cars so far today, which is a fantastic Wednesday. We're very happy with that. Maybe back to school is behind everybody and they're getting back to looking for cars. So Emmett, love the logo. Nice touch with the Benz logo hidden in there. Emmett, I'm glad you like that. Actually, that was a local guy who makes neon signs, like neon signs, they're LEDs. He created that for me, totally unbeknownst to me. I didn't know he was going to do it. And it just showed up one day and he liked the videos. And I thought it was so clever to put the, Mercedes logo in the middle of that bow tie. And so I made it my logo. I was like, what a cool artistic thing that this guy did. His name is Monster Moose LLC is the name of his company. He does custom neon LED signs. And no, this is not a paid promotion. He just makes really cool stuff. And if you ever want a custom LED neon sign, check him out. Will the Browns make the playoffs in January 2026? We can only hope. We can only hope. Let's go. I remember the unboxing. Nice. OG Puckett. That was a while ago. Thanks for being here that long. Thank you for hanging out today. If everyone could tap the screen, hit the like button, all that fun stuff. If you're not following already, we'd love and appreciate a follow. Thank you for being here. Benz is with Dennis. Dennis from MB of Plano. Are you a fan of the new SL? I am, Dennis. I think that it's a beautiful car. I'm a big fan of it. I think that, like, I love the styling, but, I think that maybe produce a few less of them, right? Just kidding. They can do whatever they want. But yeah, I do love the styling of that car. I really hope that they can continue to catch on and get some appreciation like the 911s have. Will you be getting any SL63Ss in? Are you talking about the SEs, the SE plug-in hybrids? Then yes, absolutely. Thank you guys. Thank you for everybody who's being so generous over on TikTok. All the gifts, I appreciate that. That's very kind of you. Any lease deals on AMG GLBs? Yes. GLBs, GLAs, C-classes, all variants, all have fantastic programs right now. Absolutely, they have fantastic programs right now. Demo lease deals, yes. Demo deal, former demos are a great way to save money over the cost of a new car. If you don't mind a few thousand miles on the car, especially if you're leasing it, absolutely no reason not to get a demo, because your lease will start with the miles that are on the car, right? So if the car has 5,000 miles on it, and you do a 36-month lease with 1,000 miles a month, then that would be 36,000 miles total. You would technically have up to 41, right? Because you're starting from the miles that are already on the car. So no reason not to do a lease if you're looking for a deal on a demo. Randy, love your videos. Doug, Randy, I appreciate that. Thank you. How many cars did you sell today? We are at 9 new cars today. I haven't checked in with the pre-owned team yet to know where they are, but we definitely have a really nice day going. Does the hybrid vehicle get the rebate like the full EV? Most of them do. BV will, not all of them. But most of the plug-in hybrids on a lease will get that lease cash. Okay, so on several models right now, it's $9,500. On a few others, it's $7,500. So now's the time. If you're thinking about a plug-in hybrid or an EV, now is the time, because at the end of September, that federal incentive that you can get on leases is gone, right? That is not like, oh, the programs might go away, they might get worse. No, they're going to be gone. They're going away. So how long does it take to spin a deal? It just depends. If somebody wants to come in and buy a car right now, we can, and they agree to everything, we can have them in and out in 30 minutes. Now, the car won't be detailed that quickly, but the paperwork and everything can be done that quickly. So obviously, if you're here, we have a full delivery team that will go over your car with you, all the features, benefits. They'll get you all set up with the technology, and that can take as long as you want it to. Some people go through that pretty quickly if they're familiar with the brand and have had Mercedes-Benzes in the past. Some of them might take a little bit more time to do that, but we can move very quickly if that's what you want to do. If you want to move fast, we can go fast. When can I order a 2026 E450 wagon? Matthew, you can do that now. Have allocations for 2026 wagons. The E53 wagon, the all-new E53 wagon, is coming soon. I hope those will be released by the end of this month or early next. Cannot wait for that model. 100%. That will be what I drive next. Now that we're basically sold out of EVs, I can get my plug-in hybrid, 50, 60 miles of all electric range, and then the E53 AMG goodness. What a cool car. Can you lease a G-Wagon? Absolutely you can. Alex, will there be an E63? I really hope there will be. No official word on that. Spy shots of those types of vehicles already exist over in Europe. So I'm hoping, but still, we're now 3 model years into the new E-Class and no word on an E63. So I have to be honest with you, I'm getting a little nervous about it, but I am still hopeful that we'll get one. Josh Camp, Howard Geely 350 with AMG line and 5K down lease with 815 credit. Josh, that should be a very competitive lease payment. Just depends on how many options you're going with. I mean, AMG line is going to add about $3,900 to the price of the car, but there are a lot of other boxes that you can check there. So it really just depends on how many options the car has. BG, very funny. You're funny. Let's see. Can I turn in a lease early without penalty if all the monthly payments have been made? You can. I don't know why you would do that, but you could. You will, if you do turn it in, though, you will have a turn-in fee. There is a disposition fee that you will get for turning in a car and not getting a new lease. Do you think more models like the GLE and the GLS are going to get hands-free highway driving? Well, those models have that now in the driver assistance package, but I do hope to see that technology get even further upgraded in the future. Keep in mind that the legacy manufacturers like Mercedes-Benz and really all the others other than Tesla have a very different set of rules they have to play by when it comes to driver assistance programs. So right now, by far, the best driver assistance is in the EQs, the EQS specifically, far and away the best driver assistance. You can really go hands off entirely in those cars for quite a bit of time before it's going to prompt you to put your hand back on the wheel. In vehicles like the GLE and the GLS, you have a much shorter window of time. So next year we're getting a refresh on those models, and we will see if we get an upgraded version of the driver assistance in those cars. Not sure if we will. JMN, hello, how are you? I'm great. Thanks for asking. Jarrett, great content. I worked at Mercedes-Benz dealership in Minnesota for 4 years, and it was enjoyable. Jared, I appreciate that. Thanks for saying hi. Joe Burrow does not drive an EQS, just saying. Charlie, okay, I'm not sure what that means. What's the minimum FICO you can have to lease a Mercedes? There really is no minimum. There is no minimum. It really comes down to your credit history, which specifically has a very big emphasis on your comparable auto history, your previous auto history. If you've paid car loans perfectly in the past, you might be afforded a little leniency in other areas of your credit if you have maybe some credit cards that have high balances. So your credit history is more important than your credit score. I know that is hard to really explain. I know people get very fixated on credit scores because they're easier to grasp, but it really is the content of your credit. How many accounts do you have? What's your history of repayment on loans? It's a very complicated thing. Edward, GLC 300 2023, I'm looking at leasing another GLC hybrid. Would that be under 500? Depends on how you structure it. If you qualify for loyalty coming out of that lease, there's a lot that goes into that. Matthew, hi, Doug. Thank you so much for the ongoing education. Matthew, my pleasure. Thank you for being here and being supportive. It means a lot to me. John, what's up?
This one from Rochester, the GLE, you said this one's available?
Yeah.
Rochester. Okay. No
Yep.
response on the first one.
No.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. How much does Mercedes give in lease loyalty on average? It depends on what model you're going into. So it's tiered, and right now it could be as low as 1,000 for the entry level models. It could be as high as 20,000 on my box and certain EQ models, but it's usually 1,000, 3,000, or 5,000 for most of our models is where it would be. Amir, appreciate the finest knowledge. Loyal Mercedes owner here. I have a 2019 E300 and a 2013 CL550. Amir, awesome. A 13 CL550. What an epic and very cool car. Kevin, hello. How are you? JDM, Doug, when you're negotiating a car deal, is it better to tell them about your trade up front or negotiate the best deal you can and then drop the trade on them at the end? We do our trade-ins up front, and I recommend that you do it too. Most people online are going to tell you not to do that. But keep in mind that right now, if you're dealing with a dealership that does negotiate, your trade is a massively huge piece of leverage that you have, okay? Because every dealership in the world desperately needs pre-owned vehicles for their inventory. So if they know that there is a trade on the line that they have, that could be leverage for you to get a better deal on the car and a better deal for your trade, right? You can still kind of treat them separately, but I recommend trade up front. The reason that we do trade in step 2, it's our step 2 in our sales process, is because we want to make sure we're on the same page. We get agreement there and that's not going to hold up the deal. Okay, there's absolutely nothing worse in a car dealership than spending a lot of time with a client, picking out the perfect car, getting the numbers perfect, right? This is assuming that you're dealing with a dealership that negotiates. That's not us. And then you get to the trade an hour, 2 hours later, and it unravels the whole deal, right? Maybe there's negative equity that is just going to mathematically prevent a deal from happening. Maybe you're just not comfortable with the number that the dealership is giving you, right? I don't subscribe to the idea of doing the deal first and then the trade later. I think that you're potentially wasting a lot of your own time by handling it that way. So my recommendation would be do it up front. No rates. So we give our best price up front. Now that is a discounted price on pretty much every model other than a G63 or a G550. But what that means is that it's pre-negotiated, right? We sell our cars below the market. to make it easy. Everybody gets the same deal. And the idea is that there's no chance that you can overpay, right? Because realistically, if you go into the average car dealership, there is a chance they're going to size you up and that you're going to pay a lot more than maybe another person would have paid on that exact same car, right? That is not the way that we want to do business anymore. Quite frankly, it's really inefficient. So we give you our discounted price up front. If it works for you, great. If not, we part ways as friends. So, Michael, why does it matter if the dealer negotiates or not for determining a trade value? A car is worth what a car is worth, correct? Yes. Yes, Michael. The reason I'm saying this to you is that if you're dealing with a dealership that negotiates, there is a better than good chance that they are going to give you a fake trade number. And by that, I mean, there's what we call an ACV in the car business. That is the actual cash value, right? That is what the car is going on the dealership's books for. And then there's an allowance, and that's what they're going to show you. Okay. So if they believe that you are very sensitive to your trade number, for example, let's say that the actual cash value, what they're really paying for the car is 30 grand, but they show you $32,000. They're not actually paying you $32,000. They're just taking that money from the discount that you could have otherwise gotten on the car, right? That's why so many people out there will say, oh, you've got to negotiate the two things separately. And there's some credence to that again, but I believe that doing the trade up front should be very easy because you have so many resources available to you to figure out what your trade really is worth, whether that's CarMax, Carvana, all the online third parties that you can get values from. It's really not that hard to figure it out. And what I don't want ever happening for any of you is that you believe you're being offered a trade number from a dealership, but really it's only if you trade the car in, right? If you ever hear the words, here's your trading number if you buy a car from us, that's not a real number, right? Just going to tell you that now. So any dealership should be willing to buy your car from you, whether or not you're buying a car from them. Like for us, the number that we give you, you don't have to buy a car from us. We'll buy your car, right? We need used cars, right? So anyway, I digress. Russ, what's going on, brother? How are you? Birdie Boy Steve from Naples, on my way over to Miami. Very nice, Steve. Thanks for saying hi. Any plans for the refresh on future years GLC models? GLC coming in a couple of years. I'm going to start scripting phone calls with Honda. Any advice? What do you mean by that, Tyler? What do you mean by scripting phone calls? I see trade values vary as much as $10,000. Yeah, they absolutely can, Brian. They absolutely can. Really depends on the situation, right? And Brian, some of that is just that different dealers will put different values on cars, right? Different dealers have different risk tolerances. Some feel more comfortable with one car versus another. Some might just not be looking at the same data that another one is looking at. So there's going to be naturally some variance, but a lot of numbers that people get out there are over allowances, which just means, that's all that means, is that we will pay you this if you buy a car from us. So if anyone in here watches George Saliba a lot, this is a great example to see this in action, where he will negotiate a lot with people, and he will step up on trade numbers with the understanding that that person is trading the car in and buying a car that he has. Okay. So really what he's doing is he's just saying, okay, well, I'll make the math work out in the background, but I want to sell the car that I have. Therefore I will overpay for the car I'm getting on trade, but that's not actually the number that he's putting on the car a lot of the time. That isn't what it'll go on the books for. Matthew, interestingly and perhaps surprisingly, owning an AMG station wagon often signals significant net worth, far more than, I have said this before, and I don't know if it's still true anymore, but many, many years ago, when I lived in Columbus, Mercedes-Benz Financial told us at the time, this might have been 2014, 2015, that the demographical data that they have from Mercedes-Benz Financial, all the people that submit for loans on deals, was the highest net worth, highest wealth was on people who bought E-Class wagons, which I thought was very interesting. So there is some real credence to what you're saying there, Matthew. That is a very real thing. And whether that's still true, I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised if it is. So can you show up unannounced at the dealership and test drive, purchase car? Absolutely. I mean, you can here. I would hope most dealerships you can. I'm sure there's some that might have an issue with it, but absolutely you can. Michael, I love your content and genuinely want the clients to understand this game the traditional dealers, not like us, play. Yeah, Michael, it can be 100%. It's very frustrating, right, for dealers that don't do that when they're dealing with somebody who might be shopping a dealer that is doing that. So I always say you want to look at the totality of the deal, right? Obviously, the trade value is very important, but you also want to consider the deal you're getting on the car you're buying, right? It all matters. So, all right. Well, I hopped on late today. I hate to do it. I do have to cut it short because I need to get home and wrap up the day. But I really appreciate you all being here. Thank you to anybody who is a new follower today. I appreciate that. Thank you for everyone who hit the like button, the thumbs up button, the subscribe button, all of the above. And look forward to seeing you all again really soon. And hopefully you enjoy these Q&As. And again, I apologize if I didn't get to your question. There's a lot of different screens that I'm looking at, a lot of different questions that roll past me. And I try to get to as many as I can, but it is a bit of a challenge. So anyway, thank you. Have a fantastic night. Can't wait to see you all again real soon.